All right, so we are here at the Jarvis Lakes Cabin, and the hike in from the Tote Road, which goes from Kakwa to Alberta, hike in was a pretty rough hike, I would say. What do you say, Gerald?
Yeah, wasn't pleasant, a lot of it. Some of it was really good, but we'll give you that, but some of it was really not good at all.
Yeah, we have a track, thankfully, from John Vogt, one of the Kakwa old-timers, long-time volunteer. We've met him. We've met Bill and Bev, who are also old-time hosts. We've met Diana, and I forget her husband's name, the newer host there. And just grateful for people who do come out and maintain these places. That was a difficult hike. It was hard to find the trail in places. It was really wet and swampy. And beyond that, yeah, if you don't have a track, I think a lot of people would likely get lost. But probably, I guess you need to be able to route find in country like this because it is pretty deep in the back country. Now that we know how to get here, I don't think it would be so easy to get lost. No. But cabin here is beautiful.
The willows were so high. That was a really big thing. They were 8 feet, 9 feet tall.
Yeah, you just go into them and get lost. And if you can't see the trail, you don't know if it twists and turns. You're just kind of feeling with your feet if the bottom part's open or not. And that's virtually how I tried to find where the trail was going.
Pretty much. And it didn't work so well a few times for us.
Yeah, but then again, we had a track. And we would look at our GPS and go back to where the trail was supposed to be, and we would find it again. But I know a lot of people put work in here. We checked out the logbook, and there's a lot of history in there, going back to 2009, 2012. We saw lots of people come in here from Alberta doing ski trips, horse packing trips. We also saw at some point in the past, the Ramblers were here. I think they flew into Moonius Lake and hiked down here. So now we've been here as well. It's those old-time Ramblers. Only we didn't fly in this time. We hiked in. But it would have been convenient to be able to see all that stuff up there. We're hoping to get up to Moonius tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully it works out. 52 kilometers from the vehicle to get to here, so it takes time. It doesn't happen quickly.
So another interesting point about this trail, some of you might know of the Great Divide Trail, which starts at the American border, works its way up through Banff and Jasper, and ends at Kakwa Park Cabin. Just on the shoreline, there's a little sign there. You'll see in this video where we started there, come in this direction. Well, there's an extension to that now called the Great Divide Route, the GDR. And they're hoping to extend the Great Divide Trail up to Canuso Falls and Tumbler Ridge. And Dan Durston and others have pioneered that route. Casey, and I can't pronounce his last name, has created a website which has tracks and all kinds of up-to-date information about people who would like to try it out. And lots of people, there's numerous entries in that logbook. I counted maybe 4 or 5. People who came up through the Great Divide Route. What did you think about what you read?
Yeah, something like that. And of course, we know a few others that are going through this year. One's in there right now, a friend of ours, Sterling, and some friends from Spain are going to be down in next month coming in, Antonio and his wife, and they're going to go through. So
yeah, they can check this video out maybe and see what the trail's like. And it's a pretty wild country up there for sure. Yeah, so there's that. Another interesting point in the logbook that we read. Again, there's a lot of history in this logbook. This cabin doesn't get visited as much as the Kakwa cabin because snowmobilers are not allowed here. There's a lot of signs over there. They used to be able to come, but they're not allowed anymore. So it takes a lot of work to get out here. And we did see, for example, an old log entry from Keith Monroe. I believe he took his float plane in here and they did some work in the cabin and whatnot. Really grateful for people who do stuff like that. But we also saw a guy named Chris Goulet. Now, some of you might know that name. He's the guy who, I believe in 2009 or 10 or somewhere around there, climbed Mount Sir Alexander solo.
Oh,
And in this logbook here, he talks about him and another lady, and I'll show the screenshot of that log entry on screen. The two of them went up to do Mount Ida, which is right there.
big one.
And so I believe Alexander's the highest, but this is the second highest in the area. And what's interesting in that log entry is he wasn't able to do it. Now, the two of them went up a fair ways, and then he continued on past a certain point. And I think he came 310 feet short of the summit. He said he just couldn't do that last part solo. And so it was beyond his ability, and then he turned back and he said he had a very long day. He ice climbed a huge section and all kinds of stuff. Very interesting log entry.
He said at 50-degree angle, ice climbed for hours.
50-degree ice climb. So, yeah, pretty crazy. We have heard from some friends that Chris Goulet passed away. I'm not sure what all the details are on that. Well, I'm going to try to find out. But anyway, haven't heard of anybody else successfully summiting Sir Alexander or Ida. So these are pretty tough mountains to hike. Pretty rough country, beautiful out here. I have to say, was it worth hiking down that trail to this place, Gerald?
Yeah, in the end, it absolutely was worth it. There was times when you wondered, but yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, we're
sure.
baking in the sun, drowning in the swamp, twisted an ankle in the swamp area. I just took a step and there's a giant hole and down I went. So that kind of stuff happens. But anyway, we're here and a nice remote cabin. Looks like it's pretty well kept. Sleeps, I would say, 4 people in there. And then you need to put mats on the floor, sleeping pads and whatnot. But really like this area.
Yeah, and if you're not fairly physically fit and fairly determined, it's not a trail for you because it's not really a forgiving trail. You're going to have to work at it. It's worth the trouble to me, but it's not worth the trouble for everybody, I'm sure. And you have to be aware of that. If you're going to come, you can't just look at the beauty that's sitting here at the cabin, because to get here, it's got some challenges, and you have to be up for it.
And beyond, like, obviously physical fitness is one thing. There may be a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm a beast, I can do it." Well, you need to be able to route find.
Yeah.
That's the other part of that is it's really easy to lose the trail. If you don't have a track, I'm pretty confident you're going to lose the trail. We lost it numerous times, and if we didn't have the track, I'm not sure that we would have found it again. At least in a number of the spots, it wasn't obvious where the trail would be. And so anyway.
We easily would have found our way here. We just
we wouldn't have been on the trail. It would have been much harder bushwhacking.
Yeah.
So
it's not pleasant bushwhacking either. So.
No. So anyway, I guess one other thing to mention is I can point some stuff out here. So that valley between Mount Ida and there is Edgegrain Valley. So last year we were on that south face of Mount Ida, looking up on the south face, and we were at a lake down there. This big mountain here behind us, there's 2 valleys on that side and on this side, and both of those gullies go up to a lake up there, which drains into a cave, and there is a pass that goes into Babette lake area called Cornish Pass. So that's where Cornish Pass would come down for anyone who has read about that, is interested about that. We did see a number of log entries of people who came either up or down Cornish Pass. And of course, if you do, you come into the forest and you have to go around the lake either left or right and bushwhack your way here. So that's just another point to mention. Beyond that, I guess access to this place is, it's all coming from that tote road. To come from anywhere else, I mean, you can fly in here, I guess, for those that are allowed. But coming from that direction, I mean, I guess you could come from Tumbler Ridge, but that's again on the Great Divide route, and that's a pretty tough trail. So
yeah, I mean, if you were doing it, it's just you were passing through. You're not coming here to play, I don't think.
Yeah. So anyway, we're just having a great night. I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have any thoughts there, Gerald?
No, we'll probably talk again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Once we've been up to Moonius, we'll look around.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
And sadly, that is the last you'll see of that fleece jacket and those microphones and the hat. They all got lost on our trip on the next day at Moonius.
Yellowhead. Yellowhead.